Hi, I'm following along with Paul McWhorter's Raspberry Pi lessons. In lesson 28, we were supposed to build a programmable temperature alarm. Paul, I was actually a little slow getting this one done, and I watched Paul's way of doing it, and he used the ADC chip and a potentiometer to set his alarm set point, and uh, it was a pretty good way of doing it, but oh, I always like to be a little bit different and try different things and everything. So what I did instead of using a ADC and a potentiometer is I set up like a 3-button uh, uh, setup so that I could do it. The one button is a mode button. So each time you press it, it changes it from the running mode to the changing mode. I actually have a low temperature alarm and a high temperature alarm. So I got a regular mode. I got the mode to adjust the low temperature alarm and another mode to uh, adjust the high temperature alarm. So I got 3 modes on there. And then I just have 2 buttons, one for raising it and one for lowering it. Um, and I just got it set up that if you hold the button down every half second, you're going to get a new reading. So I wish I could show you guys the LCD. I got only camera I got is my working is the laptop camera, and all it does is show a big old white blob when I put it up there, no matter what I do with the contrast or anything on this camera, try to adjust the camera. So yeah, I'm not going to be able to show you that. So we'll just be showing you the code today. Let's get down here. So I'm VNCing into this with my Raspberry Pi from my laptop, so running headless. So we'll get to the code. So we've got the normal libraries, got the GPIO time, the DHT11, and of course I'm using my big digits again. So I got the LCD 16OT big digit library. It's got an X over under past it because I actually added a couple functions to it, and I'll talk about that in a minute uh, in the library itself. But I got a couple functions here. We'll talk about them as we get to them. Got a lot of pin definitions and uh, other variables that I signed up there. Got the normal GPIO stuff coming in. Like I said, the DHT11, the buzzer. I decided to use the passive buzzers so I can make some uh, better noises with it. And um, since I got 2 different alarms, I wanted 2 different uh, sounds coming out of it. So we got that. So I'm using that and using 2 different sounds. Setting up the 3 button pins, and then using the event detect so that I don't miss any while I'm playing my buzzer sounds. This allows you to uh, uh, detect the any button presses even while that's happening, and then later down here you'll check on them each time through the loop to see if there's any of those button presses happen while you were gone. So that's um, so one of our lines on the LCD is this here, this L80H82. So that's the low temperature alarm and the high temperature alarm. So this AUD is alarm update. So all we're doing there is we're sending that with this little thing here to putting it on the um, uh, top row, and we're starting on character 9, which is the 10th character, and we're formatting it to do it that way. I like doing the format rather than have to worry about it all the way we're doing it. So that's where we're displaying that first before we get started. And then in our while true, like I say, we're detecting our events. And the first one, all we're doing is, like I said, this is the mode pin. So every time we're increasing the mode, and then we got a modulo 3, so it goes 0, 1, 2, and then back to 0. That's how you do roll over on that. And then on the other ones, we're using something similar to the Arduino Millis and previous Millis. So this time monotonic is sort of like Millis. It just keeps running and giving you a time. And this DN mono would be similar to previous Millis. So we're just getting the millis for the last time that button was pressed. And we use that a little bit further on, where we're doing that for each of our buttons. So we're in our 0 mode. That's the normal operation mode. All we're really doing is displaying our temperature and looking for an alarm. And if we hit the alarm, if our temperature's less than what our low alarm, we're going to play one sound. If you see, it goes from 900 to 300. And if temperature is above your high alarm, then it's going to go from 300 to 900. So there are definitely different signs or sounds that you'll hear. You might see this blink off. That's not a normal LCD thing. This is something that I wanted to use so I could tell where I am in the modes. And so I went and found the bits I had to flip on the command codes to turn the cursor from no cursor to a blinking cursor. So this is actually turning it off. So when we're in normal mode, we don't have a cursor blinking. When we're in op1, like I said, this is when we're able to adjust our low temperature alarm. I skipped a part here. So this play alarm thing is all we're doing is looping through our range of frequencies from low to high, and then a step on it, and we're just changing them. And you'll better just to hear how that works. But we're sending the beginning and ending in step, so that we can use one function for both sounds. So let's see, back to where we were. Okay, so that's that play alarm thing. All right, so in op1, what we're doing is we're setting the cursor to blink on number 9. And like I said, this is what's on that top line, and number 9's position column is going to be where this L is. So it's going to blink on the L. So you know we're adjusting this low temperature alarm. And then you're using the other 2 buttons to adjust it, either going up or down. And what you do is you just press the button and hold it, and every half second it's going to increment or decrement. So, and that's how that's working. We're doing that on this, and changing the things we have to, and this just updates that part of the display. And then in op2, all we're doing is we're moving over to our blink over to the H, over top of the H. So we know we're adjusting the high temperature alarm, and that's the same 2 buttons, and we're just adding or subtracting based on what happened there. Also have a time monotonic on here, so that we're only getting our temperature readings every 2 seconds. I know from Arduino, them DHT things don't like to be read too often, so I think every 2 seconds is plenty. And this is basically the stuff that Paul showed us down to getting the temperature and the humidity. Next few lines are for writing to my big digits. I wish you could see, but you can't because it won't show up. Shows up nice in the white letters on the blue, but not for the camera. And then we're also displaying on the second row, we're displaying the relative humidity, RH, and then the 2 digits, and then percent. What we're doing there. And like I said, we're also printing to the console so that you guys can actually see that it's actually working. So I think we're ready to run this. And like I said, I got the startup temperature 65 and 75. So this alarm, high alarm, when we start it up, it actually may be alarming out. Because I think it might be 75, 76 degrees in the house right now. So let's go up here and click it to go. Something must be wrong. Control C. Let's try this again. There we go. I think I already had it running. So you can see the temperature says it's 80, but we got the high limit set at 75. And I think you probably can hear that buzzer. It's just a increasing pitch. So once we hit the mode button and get out of this, the buzzer will stop. So that's good. Right now we're in mode 1. So the cursor is blinking. You can see the 1 on the screen there. And then, but we want to actually adjust the other one. So we're in mode 2 now. And I'm going to hit the up button so that we're increasing, holding it down. You see it increasing. We'll go up to about 85 on that. All right, hit the mode button again, and now we're back in 0, and everything's fine. And if we were having an alarm, we would be hearing it again. Now we're in mode 0. You only hear the alarm in mode 0. So I'm going to go ahead and change the mode back to 1, and I'm going to raise that temperature alarm so that we get that in there. So the cursor on L is blinking now that you can't see it, but you can see that you're in mode 1 over there. So we want to increase this, make this like 81 or something. So it's 81. So we are in an alarm state, but because we're not in the right mode to do that, we got to do it. So we got to go to mode 2, still no alarm. But then when we go to mode 0, you hear and it's just a decreasing volume. So anyhow, we'll go back and raise that so we can get it back where we want to be. So we're in mode 1. So we're going to go ahead and get this down. Go back to about 65 on that, 67. So we got 67 to 80. So I'm going to go to mode 2, bump it, and back to mode 0. We're back in mode 0. So we got 80 degrees, and that's in the big digits on the display. And then it says L67 and H85, and the relative humidity is 47%. And I don't think I printed that out to the console. So anyhow, like I said, we ended up being close to 100 lines of code. Paul's right. It was a little bit of a struggle doing it. Had to think a little bit about how to get everything going, but using the modes is the way to go, and Paul showed how to do that on his. So I keep learning from Paul every time I watch his videos. Anyhow, that's my video for this week. Thanks for watching.